Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. Sorry for the delay. I'm having some technical difficulties here again, but we'll get the screen share going on while we wait for my charts to finish loading. Poor computer's got too many things going on. Oh dear, they're really bogging down here. I'll give them a few more minutes, then I'll have to reboot NinjaTrader. Sometimes that gets it kick-started. Make sure my data's flowing. Yeah, data's flowing, or it's supposed to be. All right, almost there. Wow. Sorry about this. I really am going to have to come into the office an hour early just to boot my charts. There we go, almost there. One more chart. Okay, let all the data catch up. And how are we here for time? Yeah, looks like that's the current bar. Okay. Finally. Well, better late than never, I suppose. That was always our motto at work. All right, let's see what's been going on here on the daily NASDAQ. And this was yesterday's session. The market taking a bit of a bounce, not really getting as high as 7,800, but kind of the sellers digging in near there. All these tops, by the way, that you see here from this bar, this bar, this bar, this bar, this bar, are all a reaction to 7,800. Obviously, the market exhibiting some sensitivity there. This day looking a little bit more bearish than I suppose it was. Some of that, well, I guess, no, okay, sorry. I was going to say some of that bearishness came in the overnight, but just kind of thinking back, no, it did not. Volume holding steady. And today, however, we're opening up with a bit of a gap. So we closed down here near 76.50, 76.60, and we're currently trading at around 77.50. So we have about a 100-point gap in there. So the market definitely a little bit stronger today. Taking a look here at the overnight, you can see that rally. Wow, really coming from the Asian session. Market turned over back here as the Asian session started and took a little bit of a pause and continued to rally. This would have been your first in sync eagle signal, but oh no, sorry, this one right here. I was going to say this would have been your first in sync eagle signal, but it would have been a tough one to take. If you were looking for it, that was it right there. However, you can see the importance of having to run a proper stop, as if you put your stop right down here, well, you would have got tagged shortly after the open, only to watch the market rally higher without you. All right, so we got a bit of a bullish slant to the market this morning. We'll stay with that. If you think the market has a trend to it, the easiest way to get back into the market is on a pullback. And unfortunately, sometimes when the market's on a tear, well, you may either end up missing the move entirely, or you just have to wait it out a little bit, which is kind of where we're at right now. We're kind of in a holding mode. All right, maybe a little bit of a pushback now. We've breached some multi-day highs here, so we got to be careful. You know, how we normally watch for a breakout and a retest, well, you can do that on a larger scale as well. Okay, getting a little bit of sideways trading going. We've got, you can see here, a late filter entry signal on the Falcon. That is a tradable signal, by the way. What we would want, however, I think, is a second push, just because stop management is impossible. Like the proper stop is way down here, but by taking entry above the high, you can hopefully get by with a tighter stop. Note the Bollinger Sweep out of sync here, but the trend line nice and flat. Filter out of sync, back into sync. We produced a signal. I would, like I say, take it perhaps above the high, on a move above the high. Or if I get two bearish bars, I can consider taking it above this little high right there. But I don't want it to go too much lower, because that will spoil the signal. The trend line will start changing color, and that's not what I want. Oop. Okay, there's my two bear bars, working on a third. So I'll take it if it rallies above that bar right there. Oh, come on. I'll tolerate, oh shoot, I was going to say I'll tolerate the trend line being out of sync for a bar or two, but not anymore. We've clearly dipped too low. So we'll throw that back on the shelf for now. The Raptor coming here with a number 2 signal. Oh, that's an interesting comment. Phil says, I run ChartTrader and I have to test strategies before going money, I guess, before going with real money, because the strategies have to warm up first. Okay, here's a little bit of a pushback now. I would like to see another rejection here. That would actually start forming those little bits of sideways trading range that we look for. Oh, I see where you're going with this, Paul or Phil. Phil says, I found about 2 weeks ago entries with massive slippage when volume was not very high. Yes, that can be a problem, especially during the summer months. Like Phil said, when the volume is a little spotty. You know, you guys, you can also use your stop limit orders. And what that does is it will limit your slippage. So it's kind of a combination of a stop order and a limit order. So I haven't seen what it looks like with the, oh yeah, there you go. So we can set the amount of slippage we want to take. So let's say we'll accept as much as 3 ticks slippage. There is our order. So we will get filled if the market trades above here, but we will never get slipped more than 3 ticks. If the market bounces more than 3 ticks or hops right over the order, we won't get filled. A stop order, which is what we normally use, is like a market order. Once that price gets tagged, it becomes a market order and you get the next fill wherever the market happens to be trading. Now, if you're getting nasty slippage, sometimes it helps to call your broker and complain. I was talking to a fellow who was trading crude oil who was routinely getting slipped anywhere from 8 to 10 ticks. And I told him I would be calling my broker because there's a problem there. There's no way your broker should be slipping your order 8 to 10 ticks before you get a fill. All right, getting a little bit of a test of the extreme here now. You can see the hawk a little conflicted. The falcon going to produce another trend change signal. We might try that one to the short side. The raptor already producing the number 2 signal to short. Let's see if I can get on board here with this one. So I'm looking for the next signal to short, and it should be near those lows. There it is. Okay, so it's just below this swing low. I've got my order. Stops go above the highs. You can see we market having a very leisurely pace here today. Okay, a little bit of a late filter entry signal now to the short side. And again, a nice flat trend line. You know, using the second push strategy, and all that means is we allow the signal to engage, we see where the signal flinches, and then we use that bar that reacts as an entry point. All right, there we go. And no, we didn't get slipped on this. But so far we've got the good old one tick trend going on. If we can trade below 77.52, we should be okay. The market should make a little bit of a pullback anyway. suppose technically this is counter trend. So if we can get below 77.52, I'll start to get a little bit more aggressive with my stops. Ooh. Another retest of the highs. This could be problematic. Oh, come on. They're really holding this whole 77.52 zone. I bet you that's near the hard edge as well. Yep. There it is. Keeps bouncing off the hard edge. That could be a little bit of a problem. Just my luck, I'd get the old one tick trend. Last chance for the sellers. They got to get something going on here. We'll go back here to the Falcon. All right. So the sellers pushing a little bit lower. I've got a couple of intermediate swings, so I'll roll my stops ever so slightly. The better stop is still above the highs. The closer you move your stops, the more likely you are to get tagged out. And just like the children's game of tag, the objective here is not to get hit. We do have that morning gap. I don't know if they're going to try to get into that or not. Oh, I see. Thanks, Phil. Phil says FOMC today at 2 p.m. I really should make a point of checking the reports calendar. Sorry about that. I should know anyway. Third Wednesday. All right, well, they're trickling lower. If we see a breach here, 77.52, like I said, there might just be enough downward momentum to get me to my profit target. All right, here we go. 52, I saw 51 3/4 for a second. Oh, man. Oh, come on, you guys. They took a little poke below there, and that's all we got. I'm hesitant to make my stops overly tight because, well, here's what the trend line looks like. So I certainly don't want to, place my stops right there. And even eyeballing the trend line is not a good idea because the market will have a tendency to breach trend lines and swing highs by a couple of ticks only to reverse and go the other way. Might as well do an email while I'm waiting. Here we go. I can barely stand the excitement. This may be my one and only trade today. Preparing for my break-even stop. Come on, you guys, you can, just like gravity, take you a little bit lower. I like the pace of yesterday's session. You know, the market gives you a signal, it gives you a few minutes to decide. All right, that's probably close enough. I'll take the break even. Oh no, don't you dare. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, you guys are killing me here. Oh, if you haven't rolled your stops to break even, this is the time to do it, because if you get 2 green bars, you're going to get this kind of thing going on. Hopefully, there we go. Hopefully we just got the 1 green bar. A pair of green bars usually leads to more. Oh, well, caught a bit of a break on that one. Whew. That may, I don't think that's the record for the longest day trade I've ever done, but it certainly did take its sweet time, did it not? That's okay. The end result was what we're after. Got ourselves a nice little profit. Well, we made our objective anyway. Which is $100. But now we are in this bit of a churn. I suppose you could call this a sideways trading range. We have had the breakout. We can look for the retest. But if there's an FOMC report due this afternoon, we're not going to see a whole lot of trading going on here. So I'll probably keep the room open here to the bottom of the hour in case anything interesting happens. But otherwise, it is the proverbial paint drying day, watching paint dry. Okay, we're looking at a bit of a retest going on now. You know, given what the market's doing today, I would probably pass on this trade, but I'm going to point it out because the structure is here. So we've had a sideways range, we've had a breakdown, the market is retesting. We can put our just in case order to sell below here. Now we're looking at the retest. If the market flinches at this point and gives us a couple of bars the other way, bearish bars, I should say, then I will be able to place a just in case order to buy, and effectively we have the market pinched. Okay, well, we got the 1 bar contra, well, trying to be contra. Let's see, do we have a signal yet anywhere else? Well, the Falcon's trying to make a trend change. The Hawk already has the first micro macro cross. So again, depending how aggressive you want to be on this, there we go. We got ourselves a first micro macro cross order, and I'll pull that in just a little bit. So it's a second push on the signal itself. The first micro macro crossover, when the micro line crosses the macro line, it's the first signal where everything is in sync. I guess both of these would qualify. Just looking for a little short-term scalp. right, here they come back with a follow-up signal. All right, let's see what we can do. Now my scalp target is typically $50. The target's stretched here a little bit, but we'll see if we can get up to the $50 mark. I may just pull the pin. I know stops are a little uncomfortable down here, aren't they? You could place your stop here below the swing and I'm going to get ready with my break even. All right, there we go, $40. Get the trade to break even. We're 3/4 of the way to our profit objective, or we were 3/4 of the way. Remember, $50 is our scalp target. It's $50 per contract. Oh, backed up just enough to tag me at break even. Oh well. Maybe just as well. The market, the way it's bouncing around today, I don't think I want to run a really wide stop. All right, gang, we're nearing the bottom of the hour, so I think we're going to close up shop. If anyone has any questions, please ask them now. Honestly, though, the market's probably going to stay in this sideways funk until the FOMC minutes come out. Good news is it should loosen things up a little bit for Thursday. All right. Well, if you're going to hang with the market here, as I mentioned before, here's a potential setup. So we've had that sideways range. The breakdown, you could look to short below this swing low. If we get a couple of bearish bars, well, that's the point where you can look to buy above. I would not be overly ambitious with my profit objective, however. Right now, the market still with more of a bullish slant to it, but just barely. All right, gang, let's do this again tomorrow. I will talk to you then. Bye for now.